So we're going to be orientating around this B over here, and we're just going to be basically looking at the minor third interval from it. So remember that the this 3 represents that it's the third note in the scale. This 3 represents that it's a 3-note distance in terms of half steps or notes. And that's going to be the idea from a chord construction standpoint. It's an odd number, and that's how we build chords. We pick up every other odd number, so it's also the third from a chord construction standpoint. So notice this is kind of interesting. The Dorian has this, let's just go through the intervals real quick. It's got a 0 note away perfect first, a 1 note away minor second. That's the one that's like the Phrygian, but it's unlike both the major scale and the Aeolian or main minor scale. It's got a minor third, which is what we would expect from a minor scale, whereas the major scale has a 4 note away major third. It's got the perfect fourth, which is what we would expect from most modes, major and minor. And then this is the weird one. It's got the fifth, which is a 6 note away flat fifth or diminished fifth. That's what the D stands for. So that's the weird one that no other mode has, except for you could say the Lydian has a augmented fourth, which is the same interval, but it's the fourth that's been pushed up instead of the fifth that's been brought down. And then it's got the 8 note away minor 6, which is what you would expect from a minor mode. The major mode would have a 9 note away major 6. It's got a 10 note away minor 7, which is what you would expect from a minor mode. The major mode having an 11 note away major 7. So it's kind of interesting that it has the minor third in it for the Locrian, but then it doesn't have the fifth. So that means, like, one way you could kind of play with the Locrian, you would think, if you don't want that really super tension sound, but you want to play something off the B, instead of playing the power chord of adding the fifth, like you can do to every other note except this one, you can add just the one note, which is the minor third, you would think, right? Because I can add the minor third and not the flat fifth, and then it would be kind of like a minor chord without the fifth, you know. And so, I mean, you can kind of play with that concept. But in any case, that's the idea. So that's what we're doing here. So if I go up then to here, we're going from here to here. It's going to be 3 notes up. So there we have that. And so on the same string, if I go above the string, we're looking for the thirds. So if I go above the string, we're going to be back here. If I count that out, so now I'm going above the string. I'm looking for a 3 note away minor third. Notice that this interval we've seen before on the minor chords, but we haven't seen it from this string. And this string has now revealed a whole nother string up top, right? So we're gonna have a different interval that we haven't seen before, at least on that string, even though we've seen the minor third on the minor modes, which includes the Aeolian mode, the Dorian mode, and the Phrygian mode. Okay, so if I go up one string, I have to look for the inverse distance. So a 3 note away minor third, 3 minus 12 is 9. So I'm looking for a distance of 9, which would be a 9 note away major 6. So I'd be -5, -6, 7, 8, 9. So there it is. So if I'm here, I'm going to go -5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So from top to bottom, from D to B, would be a 9 note away. That would be a major 6. And therefore, from the B up to the D would be a 3 note away minor third. Okay, so that means that if I go up one string, the 3 note away minor third will always be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which would only happen on the B string. So let's say I go up here on the B string. Now, because this tectonic plate shifted forward, it's a longer distance. So that means that if I go up one string, the 3 note away minor third will always be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which only happens on the B string, which means that if I go up one string and cross the fault line, the 3 note away minor third will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets back. Okay, and then you can also think about going forward, right? If I went forward, it would be the inverse distance, but that would be just out of reach. Because remember, I'm not looking on both sides. You could, but I'm trying to find the reachable distance, right, on each side. And that means you won't always have the reachable distance if you're stuck with over here somewhere, and you hit the nut, and you can only go one way going forward. But that's the idea. Okay, let's go up 2 strings. Let's go up 2 strings. We're looking for the 3-note away minor third. So, and if I go up above the note that I'm looking at, I have to take the inverse distance. So 12 minus 3 is 9. So we're going to be saying this is negative 5, negative 10, and then going this way would be 9. So let's do it from here, from this B, negative 5, negative 10, and then going this way would be 9. So if I go from top to bottom, that would be like a 9-note away major 6. If I go from bottom to top, therefore, that would be a 3-note away minor third. Okay, so there is that. So that means that if I go up 2 strings, the 3-note away minor third will always be 1 fret forward unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on the bottom 2 strings. So if I was on one of the bottom 2 strings, like this one, and I go up 2 strings, then I would be here. So the rule would be if I go up 2 strings, the 3-note away minor third will be 1 fret forward unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on the bottom 2 strings, the B or the E, in which case if I go up 2 strings, the 3-note away minor third will be on the same fret. All right, and then let's go to the next one. So this is the new one we haven't seen before, and it happens to be the big one that's kind of out of reach. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So that means that if I had room going this way, it would be 6 this way. It would be a symmetrical triangle, or what do they call that? Equal sides, equilateral triangle, or something like that. I forgot my geometry. It's been a while, but I kind of liked geometry actually. I was good at that. It's when it's above geometry, then everything fell apart. That was all over. It's all over. But anyway, so let's go. This is going to be negative 5, negative 10, negative 15. 15 minus 12 is 3, and then 3, 2, 1, 0. We're now down. We're back to the octave, which I can go to 12 as well. So 12, 11, 10, 9. So if I'm on this one, we're going to say here it is on the guitar: 5, 5, negative 10, negative 15. 15 minus 12 is 3, 2, 1, 0. There's the octave, and then wait a sec, octave, and then 12, 11, 10, 9. There it is. Whew, that was difficult. So if I can't reach it because it's 5 frets. What is it? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frets forward. So it's just out of reach, but there it is. If so, that means if I go up, so if I went from the top to bottom, this D to this B, it would be a 9-note away major 6. If I went from the bottom, from this B to this D, it would be a 3-note away minor third, right? So if I go up then 3 strings, then that's where the big jump is for the minor third. Then the minor third would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frets forward, which means it would also be 6 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on either the B or the E string. So let's take a look at one of those. If I was on like this B string and I go up 3 strings, 1, 2, 3, then it's going to be here. It's a little bit tighter that way. So it's about reachable, almost reachable if I'm on one of these bottom strings. So the rule is, if I go up 3 strings, the 3-note away minor third is going to be way out there, 6-note away, 6 frets forward or 6 frets back. But if I cross the fault line, which would happen on the bottom 2 strings, the B or the E string, and then I go up 3 strings, the 3-note away minor third is at about almost a reachable only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward. Okay, let's go below the note here. So now we're going to cross the fault line going down. This is the only one. This is the only string, the G string, in which I would go down 1 string and cross the fault line. Because on all other strings, I wouldn't be crossing the fault line if I only go down one string. So let's take a look at that. So if I go down one string and cross the fault line, it's going to be this way. It would be -5, -4, -3. So I don't need to look at the inverse distance now. -5 because of the fault line goes this way. -5, 4, 3. Let's take a look at it here. So we're going to go down to here, -5, 4, 3. So boom, boom. There's the 3-note away minor third. It looks like a major third shape, right? Because this tectonic plate shifted to the right. Now, on any other string, you're not going to cross the fault line if you go down only one string, right? If I was here, then the minor third would be back here. And even if I was on this tectonic plate, then as long as I'm on the same plate, it's only when I cross over the fault line that I'm going to have a problem. And notice that this plate only has two strings on it, so that means I can only go down one string and not cross the fault line unless I imagine myself going around the top of the guitar, which you can do. Just remember that this string repeats. So if I imagine myself going around the top of the guitar, I have to see that this D is repeating right there and then start the pattern over again. Okay, so that means that the rule would be if I go down one string, the 3-note away minor third is always 2 frets back, as opposed to 1 fret back, which would be normally what a 4-note away major third would be, unless I cross the fault line, which would only happen on the G string, in which case if I go down one string and cross the fault line, the 3-note away minor third is only going to be 1 fret back, which makes it look like it's a major third, but no, because of the fault line. Okay, so let's pull that down, and then we'll go to the last one in our process here. So this is the long distance one again, similarly to what we saw up top. So if we go down 2 strings and cross the fault line, it's going to be 3-note away minor third, 5, 10, 11, 12. That's back to 0, and then 1, 2, 3. So let's count it this way. It's going to be 5, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Boom. So it's way up there. So that's going to be, what is that, 6 frets? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the big one. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I go down 3 strings and cross the fault line, the 3-note away minor third will be 6 frets forward. Now, the interesting thing is, well, let's measure it up here. If I was up on this one, and then I'm going to go to here, it's actually a shorter distance because this tectonic plate shifted this D up. So the general rule would be, if I go down 2 strings, the 3-note away minor third will only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward, unless I cross the fault line. That's about reachable, unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on either the D or the G string, in which case, if I go down 2 strings and cross the fault line, the 3-note away minor third will be just barely reachable at the 6 frets forward. Okay.